What's going on, people? It is Mental Mondays, and this one is gonna be hot because I was hot last week and I was hot this weekend. Let me tell you what happened. First, I discovered the hacking of not one but two email accounts, which just threw everything into disarray. I'm still working on making sure everyone gets up to date with that. It's taken far longer than I anticipate, so I had to push back the audiobooks. But Hustler University will go on. It starts tomorrow. That's happening here in Sparta. So, got that. Then some people were playing games on YouTube. And let me tell you, both of them slipped up. One, I have his personal information. And I'm going to sue him for copyright infringement and defamation of character. He doesn't know I'm serious. He thinks I'm bullshitting because I sent him a settlement letter, which he just pretty much laughed off. When he gets served with that summons, life will be different. But this isn't about me. This is about you, because all of that stuff happened. And you know, when people are doing stuff to you and they're saying stuff and all this stuff, it's to knock you off your course. That's what they're doing because they want to bring you back down to their level. That's what they want to do. They want to bring you back to their level because they see that you're accelerating. You're gaining attitude and they're stuck in the same miserable place. They're not making any trajectory in their life. They're just dead. Same day, every day, different set of clothes. Therefore, they hate you and they want to bring you down with a passion. They do these things and they say these things and they don't fully understand why they're doing them because they've projected on you that the problem is you and not them, but really the problem is them and not you. You chose to become successful and that scares them. That takes them to a place that they don't want to be because you make them realize that they're not doing the best things in life that they should be doing. You make them realize that they're coasting. You make them realize that they're wasting these precious moments we call life. Now, with all that said, you need dissenters. You know, I'm going to say dissenters. Some people say haters. I didn't really think I had haters until last week and this weekend. I got people who disagree with me or they're dissenters, and yeah, I've got haters. But this is the thing. If you use that energy correctly, they're really going to hate on you more because you're going to elevate. As I was piecing up this stuff together and putting it together, I came up with a plan. I was like, well, okay, let's just sit back. You know, because the stuff that I teach you, I actually use. It's not a case of do as I say, don't do as I do. No, I do the same thing. So, you know, the TV was off. I was at my desk. I was like, okay, we've got a problem. You keep getting hacked, and it's a little different. The first time, I don't even know what that was about. This time, I have a strong clue what it's about because there are people that don't like the fact that I'm doing what I'm doing. It's just that simple. And that's okay. Now, what happened this time that didn't happen last time? They were only able to get to a few things. Like last time, I was out of business when my site was out. It scared the shit out of me. I'm not going to sit here and blow pretty smoke up your ass and tell you it's a giggle. No, I was completely and utterly out of business when my site was down. Everything was gone. But that didn't happen this time. I actually did quite well last week, sales this weekend. And it was like, because everything is segmented. And I was like, whoa. So I'm doing something a little different with the emails. You're going to get that. If you're here in Sparta, you're going to get that. Because what dissenters and haters will do is make you elevate your game. You have no choice. Because when there's someone nipping at your heels, and I'm going to explain to you the whole hater dissenter process mentally. You got two choices. You can, and a lot of people fold. A lot of people like, man, it ain't worth this shit. I'm out of here. I'm not going to do it anymore. It's just not worth it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. And they won. The haters, you gave them exactly what they wanted, which was for you to stop doing the thing that you were doing that made them feel inferior and inadequate. You let them win. By having these people who, for some reason, are out to get you, harm you, defame your name, you need them. Because they will push you to do things you normally wouldn't do, and some of these things are pretty damn good. They're excellent because each time this stuff happens to me, and I'll just tell you, YouTube is just a small part of the dissenter hater syndrome that I've experienced in my life. I had a really good friend of mine who just literally stopped talking to me because I had a brand new BMW I paid cash for. I thought we were boys. I thought wrong. I had a wife who tried to sabotage me at every twist and turn. Of all the cases of hateration, that was the worst because we slept in the same bed. So every time I turned my back, shank, shank, shank. And I wake up in the morning, why am I bleeding and hurt? I don't know. You want me to get you a Band-Aid? So understand. All this does is gives you an opportunity to explore your strength. I don't believe that tough times make tough people. Because there's a lot of people, when they're faced with tough times, they commit suicide. They turn to alcohol, they turn to drugs, and they do harmful things to themselves. So we have plenty of empirical evidence that tough times do not make tough people. Too many people fold, check out, take a dirt nap, put the gun to the head, literally. So that's not true. Tough times don't make tough people. Tough times give people who are already tough a chance to explore and measure their toughness. Essentially, it gives you a chance for you to see just how tough you are, because what you have is already in you. You just have to make a decision to use it. So you've got all this stuff, and you've got these haters, and they're on you, and the first thing you want to do is just like go ahead and ask that immoral question. Why? Don't ask why. It's irrelevant. They don't need a reason of substance to hate on you. They don't. You breathe, that's enough. What you do is go, I've got haters here, and I'm here. I'm going to put a little bit more distance, elevation, because see, if you go down, you're back on their level, and they really have access to you. So you elevate, and you work. I sat down, I've made some plans, and I explored ideas, and I came up with concepts, and I was like, oh, this is what I'm going to do. Because using the information that I have, after going through being hacked several times, I have a greater understanding. There's hackers who do mischiefs. Well, based on the things that happened last week, there are people who really would love to see me go out of business, would love to see me disappear. And I thought about that, and I was like, wow, that's really interesting. Because some of these people I don't even know, never talked to, but they, for some reason, have it out for me. And then I said, good. Great. I know you're going, Glendon, you're crazy. I'm like, no, because if they've got it out for me and they're focused on me, that means that their situation is going to degrade. It's going to get worse, and I'm going to get higher, and they're going to hate even more. You need these dissenters. You need these haters, because if you focus the energy in the correct way, you can turn their hate into power that makes them even feel more inferior without ever touching them, without ever mentioning their name, without ever doing anything to them that would put you in harm or jeopardy. It's win, win, win. Total win. And the thing is, when you're going through this process, because when someone's hating and they've got your name attached to bad words in their mouth, it's an ugly thing. And then it's just like, you don't want to go through it. If you're married, you don't want your family to go through it. But understand, people are people, and people are mean. Those little mean kids that you saw in the second grade, they just grew up to be mean people. They didn't go away. They didn't change. They're the same people. It's just due to the fact that they're adults, they have to act a certain way, or they would not be able to be employed or work too well in society. But when any chance they get to let that meanness out, ha ha ha, it comes out like a banshee. It's out, because that's who they are. So if you don't have any haters or dissenters, get some. Put up an ad on Craigslist. Hey, enterprising, energetic, high, achieving person. I need some haters. I will pay you in hate per hour. Sign up here. Get you some. Get you some haters. Get some. Because when you make them look worse than they are and you keep being successful, you can sleep easy at night knowing that they are tossing and turning because they didn't get to you. They didn't slow your roll. They didn't constrict your movement. They didn't impede your progress. They didn't stop you. Do not allow haters to stop you. I can understand you hitting the pause button while you regroup. That's natural. Makes sense. It's a good policy. But at some point, you got to hit it again and resume. You got to keep moving forward, because we live in a world of faux transparency. Due to the internet, people think they know things they do, but they don't. And they act on incomplete information. If you've got your hustler mindset going, this can be a financial windfall for you. So understand, this goes back to a lesson I learned many, many years ago from Karen Osborne. She was one of the founders of Rent-A-Crate. I've told it before, but this is very adequate for this Mental Monday. We had run out of crates. We had this new order come in. I'm freaking out. I called headquarters up in Waltham. Karen answers the phone. Karen, we got this order and we need more crates, but there are no crates in the warehouse. And she just, Glendon, it's okay. Thanks for calling me. Let me tell you what we're going to do. It's called sweating the crates. Karen, sweating the crates? What are you talking about? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to call up customers and we're going to have Chris go out and collect all the crates that they're done with. And, matter of fact, put the speaker on if Chris is there. And I was like, hey, Chris, Karen wants to talk to you. And then, we go through and Chris is like, okay, yeah. And I think so-and-so has 500 they're not using. And, and then Karen was like, okay, well, Chris has got this. He'll walk you through it. And essentially, before she left, she said, it's an opportunity to make money, because she said the crates do not make us money when they're in the warehouse. They only make us money when they're out of the warehouse. An empty warehouse is a great thing for us. The more empty it is, the better off we are. And I learned a valuable lesson there, because it's not the situation, it's how you view the situation. They had actually turned running a deficiency into a profit center based on the philosophy of Karen Osborne and Shanley. It was just like, Michael Shanley. It was just like, I learned so much because they thrived on the edge. They put you under so much pressure. 250 phone calls every week. A phone call was when you had to talk to somebody. Recorded, messages left, talking to the gatekeeper, secretary. None of that stuff was relevant. Did not matter, was not part of the equation. Push, push, push. I left that company a better person. I left that company stronger because they made me flex muscles I didn't even know that I had. And that's the power of dealing with situations. And when you have dissenters and haters, they give you an opportunity to explore your strength, your intellect, and your power of creativity. For many of you who are here, who are longtime YouTube subscribers, a lot of you know that I used to be a complete idiot. People would say stuff, they would do stuff, and I had a knee-jerk response, which just to go, "Rah!" You know, get them and get down in the mud and wrestle with them and wonder why my back was wet and ants were biting me on the ass because I got down on their level. I have learned to create a game and keep increasing the level. And since they are using a large percentage of their intellect, mental power to hate, they're at a disadvantage. When I say get haters and dissenters, get them to spar with to elevate your game. Not to get down there on their level, but to go ahead and push and jump. Do what the guy did yesterday on the basketball court. Guy turned around, boom, he slammed on dude so hard, I know his mama felt it. In his face. That's what I'm talking about. Elevate and slam on your haters. Because nothing drives a hater, a dissenter, more crazy than to see you smiling. To see you having a good time. To see you rise and be more successful. You can use that energy to push to a different level. Another thing in dealing with dissenters and haters, going back to when I was an idiot on YouTube, my comments are more logic based now. When someone leaves a comment and they're trying to hate, I hit them with logic. And if they do not come back after me with a logical response, when it's just like they want attention. It's a response that says, hey, I want attention, because I'm going to ignore that logical question that you put to me, to the point that other people like ask the same question, like, yeah, what about that? That makes sense. That lets me know that this person is not on my channel to learn anything. They're there to demonstrate maybe they think they're smarter than me, or they're bored. And those people get blocked because there's no profit, there's no currency in dealing with bored people who just want attention. I love YouTube. YouTube is the way that I met many of you, but many people use YouTube as an outlet when they should be using it to make money. That's their choice. But I learned my lesson, because when I would go off on people and do stuff and dedicate videos to people that didn't matter, which was stupid, I was actually giving a hater life. I actually was increasing their height. I gave them stature. I even put teeth in their mouth when they didn't have any. I gave them a voice when they didn't have any. I actually helped them to hate on me by being complicit with their hate. It took me a minute to wake up and realize that I was doing more self-injury than garnishing revenge. There was no get back. There was no payback. There was none of that. It was just me being stupid. And there are people that go to all the videos and they see that behavior and then they do stuff and they're like, how come he's not doing that anymore? I want to get a rise out of Glendon. I want him to go off on me. I want him to mention my name to all of his subscribers so I can get some of those subscribers, because these people don't know who I am. But if he mentions my name, if he talks about me, if he does a response video, if he goes off on me, then I will get some attention, and that's all that I want, because I'm just a little hater with no talent. You gotta have fun with it. I mean, you're gonna get this. For some of you, it's gonna be really harsh because that hater is your wife, or your mother or your father, or a combination of all three. And that's a lot of negative energy to contend with in one body. It's a lot. But dealing with the haters, sit back and ask yourself a certain question. Well, would my hater do this? And if the answer is no, that's probably what you should do. Don't chop it up. Another reason, and another thing I learned, I actually knew this before I started with YouTube. There's a reason that I have the policy where I don't name names. And it has nothing to do with protecting people who lost their stuff. It's to protect my sweet brown ass. YouTube has a certain set of rules and community guidelines. Did you know if someone mentions your name in a YouTube video and you complain to YouTube, you can get it pulled down? Didn't know that, did you? If someone uses your image in a YouTube video without your permission, you can get it pulled down. And if YouTube pulls it down, you have evidence that you can sue those people. That's why I don't mention names. That's why I change stories around. That's what because the thing is, all it takes is one person to see it, have someone record it, and make sure that, because the thing is, just because you delete it, if they've got proof you did it, they can still sue you. And a lot of people don't know that there's a lot of stuff that goes on YouTube that is wrong. Just no one acts upon it. So, essentially, if you have haters, consider yourself fortunate. Because if you don't have haters and distractors and dissenters and people who are up in your grill going, you shouldn't do that. If it was me, I would do, hold on, my brain caught a cramp. I'm going to let it pass. I'm going to let it pass. There it is. Okay, that hurt. If it was me, I would do X to the Y into the Z and A, B, C, E, D, F, G. If it were me. Cause boy, what you doing is it's just not, you need to let that self-employment stuff go. You need to get a job. Maybe you should apply at the postal service and get yourself some benefits. I had to deal with that from family who wanted me to go work at the post office because it was a good government job with benefits. I shudder at the thought if I had been that weak-minded to go with that. I wouldn't be talking to you today. This video would not be made. The YouTube channel would not exist. The storage auction stories would have never happened. None of my life would have been so radically different if I had followed conventional thinking, if I had listened to the dissenters and the distractors and the haters. And one of the biggest haters was my mother. Hey, Mom, I've started a business. So what you mean to tell me is you still don't have a job, son? Mom, I send you money. But you don't have a job, son. Mom, I bought you a car. But you don't have a job, son. Do you see the incongruency between the action and the thought pattern? My mother, who grew up in the South, sweet little old lady, doesn't know how to operate outside the boundaries and confines of a job, has no clue, and it scares her. Her love for me turned to a negative response based on fear of her own projections. It took her 8 years to get used to the fact that I was not employed in a job. 8 years. I would hear little things, little digs, and this is this. Well, if it doesn't work out, you can always go to the postal service. You're a vet. They get preference. Mom, I just bought this brand new BMW and paid cash, which is more money than the average postal worker makes in a year. What are you talking about? I'm just saying, sweetheart. I'm just saying. I'm just looking out for you. You get that stuff. I'm going back down memory lane. I'm just like, have you ever just wanted to get up and walk out the room from your parents? I did that day because it was so frustrating. And the thing is, I am glad that I am the person I am, if that makes sense, because I never capitulated to her fear for me. I never did. And it was strong. The hate. And see, this is the worst kind of hate. It's hate wrapped in love and tucked into your shirt pocket. And then when you take a nap, there's a scorpion stinging you on your face. That's that kind of love. And it's just hard to deal with because they are wedded to conventional thinking. They're wedded to conventional ways of living. And what you do scares them. So what I'm telling you is, allow the dissenters and the haters to give you life, to make you bigger than you are. Because it's a choice. You could capitulate to misery, or you can claim glory. Glory. I had to hit the table to get that Baptist effect. Glory. You can claim glory. You can claim greatness. It's a choice, because sooner or later, and like I said, it took a long time for, well, it's good that you own the store. I can get furniture now. 8 years, people. 8 years. I know some of you are dealing with similar situations and people who love you but are afraid. They're scared. And they're saying that they're scared for you, and it has nothing to do with you. They're scared because their own ambitions were dampened by their fear and beat down by the world. And just to see you succeed reminds them that they did not. It's that simple. And it can be your mother, your father, your grandfather, your grandmother, your brother, your sister, or even your wife or husband. It could be any of those people. When I did the video, the world's a cock blocker. That's right, the video. The world is a cock blocker. Anyone become an agent. And next thing you know, you got an agent on your ass. And you were just fucking your wife, and now she's an agent with a gun to your head. What? That is how the Matrix works. That's why you got to get your moves on. That's why you have to strengthen your mental game, because it's all mental. Take your mental game to a higher level. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. You should invest in learning how to do transcendental meditation to run your mind, because once you run your mind, you will run your world. Every day will be joy. And understand, haters are going to come and they're going to go. But the real question is, what are you going to do? Because as long as you realize what the game is going on, what's going on, that's the reason I recommend get the 48 Laws of Power. Go online, read it, but I prefer you go get the book and just sit there and go through all that stuff. Go through all the laws and all the examples, and your mind would just start connecting the dots. You was, oh God, that's what my mother did to me. Oh, that's what the guy at work did to me. These things continue to go on. People sometimes use these laws and don't even know they're using them, because they learned it from someone else. They don't know what it is. You need to know to protect yourself, not necessarily to manipulate anybody, but at least you can see the game coming. It's like, there comes that one. Got you. So get yourself some haters. Explore your inner strength. Move up in the world, and understand, as long as you're smiling, they're mad. All right, this is Glendon with another episode of Mental Mondays, and I will see you on the good side.